Hey Gemini, and welcome to your Aquarius season reading, February 2025 reading. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version of this reading. So payment option, scheduling link, website link, Patreon link for this part, the second part, and things are to come, so be on the lookout this week. There is a lot going on. This month, there's a lot of movement happening. And I was really excited to specifically to talk to the air signs. I do have notes, but I do want to let the cards fall out first. So this is the change. This is the opportunity for what I will call your reading the plot twist. Jupiter is going direct in Gemini. And on the same day, Venus will be moving into Aries on the 4th of February. So this is a little bit before that. And we're going to have Uranus move direct as well. So for Gemini risings, this will be your 12th house going direct, a shift happening in your 11th house, and then your first house. So for a lot of you, you may experience a change, a loss somehow, but it's for the better. Mercury will move on Valentine's Day of all days into Pisces. But right now, there is a lot going on just in Aquarius. So we have the sun there, we have Mercury there, and we have the new moon coming up. So there's a lot being communicated to you at this time, especially about this person, this opportunity. How do I say this without it being so harsh? Someone's been lying to you, and you may have known it for a while. This person can also be yourself. And around the new moon, which is coming up on the 29th, you will have some kind of answer, some kind of message, whether it's being delivered from a person, about another person, by another person, about you, by you about you, by you about. This is a realization that really opens your mind and connects something so deeply to your heart, something that you may not have noticed, something that's been keeping you maybe from your intuition, something or someone that has had power over decisions you've made. Now, for those of you, excuse me, for those of you with a Gemini rising, this has affected so much about the way you think. There has been deceit. There have been lies. You've been wondering why things have been moving so slow in this area of your life, or for you personally. Some of you, it's heartbreak. And it's funny because when we think of heartbreak, we really do think about romance. But we also romanticize relationships other than just love romantic. I don't know about you, but I have known to romanticize my relationship with other people in my life, to somehow believe that they're better, or believe that I'm meant to be there, whatever it is. And even when it's hard, and especially when it's hard, to say, actually, it would be better if I left this alone, if I remove myself, the first step is you try to communicate. It depends on your level of awareness, your ability to regulate your nervous system. And we're talking about the nervous system as well, because the Magician represents Mercury. Mercury is the nervous system. You're ruled by the nervous system. And now you're like, well, what's the opportunity that you're talking about? This is an opportunity to see it. you could be offered an opportunity that makes you realize and reflect on all the shit you've taken. And by the new moon, something very clearly asks you, do you want to stay in this, or are you ready to move forward? Maybe you notice there has been a constant, this is air sign things, like very transparent, very clear, very intuitive, very concise, very, very, very. But the plot twist here is that you're not staying, that you're not putting up with this. That's the plot twist. The plot twist is, for some of you, and this is the hardest part, for some of you, you had a feeling, you've had a feeling about this, especially about 4 months ago, literally right next to each other. Jupiter, well, we don't have Jupiter out, but Jupiter and Gemini, Venus moving into Aries. From the 29th to the 4th, which gives you some time, you will be maybe wondering, maybe processing, of course, and needing, really needing to ground yourself. Connecting to the earth, whatever is grounding but yet spiritual, grounded yet connected. Because the movement that is going to start to happen or abruptly change is where you find yourself in community, where you find yourself in group, and some good fortune coming your way after this. Maybe for some of you, this is a very brutal honesty. And it's very upfront, it's very in your face, but it shows you something, it's showing you something about what you're learning about the people that you've chosen one way or another to be around, right? The people that you've chosen to spend time with in your life, whether it is that you work with them, because some people think, oh, but I have to work. Yes, but you've also chosen to be where you are to an extent, right? There comes a time when you finally feel empowered to move on, if that's something that you want. This is almost like for some of you, deep breaths, a very harsh awakening. Because for those of you who have known this for a while, it's like so in your face now that you have to leave, like you have to move on. You have to find a way out. You have to move forward. You have to find a way to be on your feet, especially if there's, other people besides you involved. For those of you, if this is just your final, like, oh my God, yeah, now I'm gone, and you're like almost relieved, think what you want, but if you're ready to move on, like, well, then you have energy behind you, backing you up. There's power to this move. And for others of you, it has probably cut you out of some money. Unfortunately, whether it's like you didn't move on and do things for yourself because of your confidence levels or your ability to follow through or to get the help that you need or the money that you need, or someone just literally holding out on you. For some of you, it's just like what you needed to hear to just cut it, like leave it be. All right, we have another. So not all the readings are this transit heavy, but you are such a mercurial sign that I'm not surprised. Ooh. Look at how we finish up the month. It's going to be worth it. Whatever you have to go through to get here, Gemini, it's worth it. Look at this. Ace of Wands, the Chariot. I know this doesn't look great, but this is not what you think it is. And it is what you think it is. and the Ace of Cups. If this is happening on this scale of level, then it's been happening for a while on many other scales and levels. And that's what we see in air signs, is that there's many level. This is the air sign seasons are when, and here I am like saying that the air sign seasons are when you don't realize how many levels there are to this game. There's a lot of levels to this game. And Mercury is also about very much the ways of communication. If you haven't been able to clearly communicate, especially the people around you, because maybe you felt gaslit, maybe it's abusive situation, maybe it is whatever it is, it's a wake-up call to do what you need to do to become independent of this situation. Because the doubt infiltrated your intuition and your ability to see clearly in your life. And this independence, this fire, this change, I've been kind of talking about it a little. I'll pick these back up in a second. What we get from this before we enter the Ace arena, right now, Mercury being in Aquarius, and it will enter into Pisces on the 14th. This is after Venus has already moved and right before Mars moves, because we're going to get into Mars here. This is also a Mars card. We have the nervous system out here. We have the calves and the ankles. We have the mind, and we have the muscular system. If you don't have a stretching practice, if you don't have a yoga practice, if you're not walking, if you're not doing something sorry that I'm constantly touching my hair. If you're not doing things to properly regulate your nervous system at this point, Gemini, it's really important that you start. And I just want to let you know that if you've had resistance to do this for a while, whenever you start, it's going to be a powerful enough shift. This is what happens, what I see in people. When it's something you know you need to do, you've been having 1,000 messages about it, and you still haven't done it, the moment that you go to do it, it's so transformative, it's so powerful that you want to do it. You want to continue to do it. And if that's not it, then you want to keep trying different things. So you try meditation, you try walking, you try guided meditations, you try yoga nidra, you try different kinds of things to get you there, so that you can, or you just do different things every day. It doesn't have to be the same thing, especially for someone like you. When you're more of an intuitive person, you're more of someone who, mind is running, you like to keep going. You need to find the thing that's very powerful for you. You could visualize a grounding technique, right? There's so many different things. I just want to say that because now we're going to get into this, because there's this energy that's been shifting, and it's this very subtle energy. We're already kind of moving past it, because this is now where the planets are aligning from the 21st to the 25th, and this will come out in between. And this is a time where there is a great alignment happening. If you want to learn more about that, watch the Aquarius video. And because it was all about the alignment of the subtle energies from the inside out, what action looks like. And for you, it's for all of us, you can ask this subtle energy to help work on your energy, right? You can ask the energies around you because they're here, right? This is the universal connection. It's the space, right? And that's Aquarius season. We love to talk about, because even though they're not ruled by Mars, they're Martians to me too, in a way. And it wants to purify, clarify any of the edges that don't make sense. It wants to help you fully understand the space that you're in, if you want to, and you have the Aquarius card out. So being very authentic to yourself, sometimes doing the hard thing, saying the hard thing, acknowledging that whatever you're doing externally, whoever you need to speak to, whatever you're coming up against, right? Whatever is being revealed to you at this time is something that you've been experiencing perhaps within you as well. And it doesn't mean, that it's what the person is saying or doing is about you, right? It's the relationship. It's how you're relating. It's what you're doing or not doing that reflects what is going on with you. You know, why don't you want to stand up to this person, or why do you, right? You now have more power. Mars moving direct towards the end of the season into Pisces season, but at the end of the month, which is still February, in Cancer. So why I talk about stretching or moving your body is exactly what I just said. That's the connection and relationship you have. Your relationship to how you work out, how you move your body, how you don't, says a lot about how you are or not connecting with yourself. And Mars has been hanging out between Cancer and Leo for a while now. It's not usual, but this is the mother. This is how you care for yourself. This is, in those spaces, this is where you have very lucky, right? Now the luck comes in right after the hard work. Very lucky, very life-changing ideas that you need the space, you need the energy, and this person or this situation was taking up a lot of fucking space and energy in your life, in your mind, in your field. And it caused you to recoil. But because you understand this about yourself, now you're seeing this probably in a way where you can give yourself that attention that you need. Whatever's been that loud voice, it's been annoying, it's a nagging, well, because it needs your attention. Right? It needs your attention, needs you to engage. This is about you realizing that your purpose has a lot more abundance to it than you give it credit for. You know, to you, who you are is normal, but to others, that's not the case, right? What you're really good at, what has been guiding you, right? Think of anything in your life that you learned something from. That's kind of guidance in a way. It's a way to think about it. And it's relieving you from being too internal, from closing off, from keeping yourself bound because you have such a drive. There's this ethereal drive, and from this cut of energy, right, this or that, you know, like it could be that conversation with yourself. It doesn't just have to be from someone else. What comes through, and if you allow this time to be what it is to let go of the past and really nurture your future. We have the World at the bottom, the 10 of Wands at the bottom. If you let this close out and you go with whatever it is that because there's a part of you that's been being intuitively called somewhere. You've had different things come to mind for quite some time now. But now you're finally listening because it's almost like it's really that, you know? Who would have thunk that that's the direction I want to go in, or that's what I need to learn about myself more, and that's what I needed to give myself? That's so simple. Why didn't I because it just didn't, it's now is the time. That's the divine timing. Didn't even look at my notes. Plot twist. This is the plot twist. The person or the situation that is revealing itself very clearly and exposing the truth, the plot twist is because even if you were late to the party, not seeing this coming, they're not seeing you taking a stand coming. That's what they're not seeing. But they probably don't know astrology and that Venus is moving into Aries, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. You're like, you've compromised so much of my luck, and now because Jupiter was in retrograde, I'm now seeing very clearly where the fuck this is coming from, because even the opportunities that have come for me, maybe you have fucked up, or opportunities have come up and, you know, maybe it's a side gig and yet your job needs you and you don't know how to say no, or, you know, whatever the things are that's kept you in this specific rhythm, this pattern, this nervous system makeup. First, Uranus is coming in to disrupt, right? And then we have Venus and Jupiter shifting the game. And then eventually we have Mars. So there's a lot of movement here. There's a lot of you being able to hands-on have the power to be vulnerable with yourself, because that's the strength that you need now. You realize that you can, that you're basically compromising parts of you to continue on this way. And there's just no way. You know, there feels like there's something that's been pulling you, like, and it's been guiding you, but pulling you towards it at the same time. And you finally create this opening, create space for yourself to go there, to have this experience. Yes, was it heartbreaking? Yes, but it also shifted your nervous system and made you realize that you deserve better. You're worth more. There's more abundance on the other side of resources, people, ideas, energy for them. If you knew that was on the other side, of course you would go, but that's the trust that you need to have with yourself and the decisions that you make and your intuition. And Aquarius season is just giving you this time to make those twists, because you like to do the thing no one expects you to do. You don't always like being you're not very predictable. Some ways you are, like every sign is, don't worry. But you do like to be unpredictable, and this month is very unpredictable. So if you're, looking to pull a plot twist, this is the time to do it, because Jupiter wants to give you what you need to get going on the things that you actually, that are good for you, that you're supposed to pursue. And this may relate back to, for some of you, what focusing on yourself looked like, and now how that perspective is shifting, and how you're mothered, how you were nurtured in your life, in your dynamics, and how that also related to your skills and your talents, and how much you can nurture those. Maybe you have been behind the scenes, or maybe you haven't been that much, but regardless, the more that you begin to put your energy there this month, the abundance comes from just that ability to focus on it, because you've been putting your energy elsewhere, and it's been fractured and fractaled everywhere. And great, you love helping people, but when you realize that's actually keeping you stuck or blocked, the more that you pull back that energy, maybe you say no to things. Maybe you just say no when you like, because they say when you're thinking about someone, chances are they're thinking about you. And if it's like a constant, they're thinking about you, you'll start to think of them more, especially if their mind is powerful, or like their intuition, their psychicness is powerful, their energy is powerful. You're gonna feel it more, and it's possible that they're looking for your energy, and it's really important that you cut them off. If you can have more energetic auric boundaries, and how that helps you. And it's not because you don't love people. It's not because you don't want to give your energy. It's just that you need all this right now for yourself, for what you're going through and the changes that you're making. And you may need their help. And you don't want to get confused at this time of what support you really do need, because you do need some. And you may not realize some money may be hidden and all of a sudden comes out of the woodworks as well. This is a very fortuitous time for you're coming into. And I think what's very clear with the universe is that there's certain people or situation they don't want you around or in, especially if you're looking for love, right? Like you're in business with someone, perhaps. Those are very intimate relationships, very intimate. You're sharing something very special, very real, right? And so how you nurture yourself in this time will be very clear of how what the foundations you're going to set, because the energy that's shifting can really help you move on from old phases, and what's new is really amazing. Don't take it from me, but it's very amazing. It's magical that what's happening. If you're willing to believe in it and understand it, you will know that anything that's hurtful is just for your growth. From here to the end of the month, you can do anything for a month. You can. So trust the messages. Trust yourself more than ever. Justice being communicated to you, okay? All right, Gemini. We'll see you in the second part. We're going to get more into it. I'm excited that the World card here is at the bottom. That's on Patreon. Please check that out. All information to work with me is below. We'll see you soon.